And justice for all.
Has everyone got a chance to look over the previous meetings minutes?
Make a motion to approve.
We're doing it a little bit different this time. We're going to start with the department heads. Is there anyone back there? Morning, Gar.
Morning. Kind of a lot to report, to see what we collected for last month, pretty good month. Runs were, I think we're in 217, 218 for the month, so that's pretty good, pretty busy. No news on the ambulance. Find a little bit of delay on insurance payment, secondary insurance. We're working on trying to stay on top of that. Not sure what the reasoning is, but there's a little bit of delay on that. She's staying good with that. And having some issues with Medicaid and their payment, so we're working with them on that. So kind of stay on top of it.
Good job.
So other than that, you guys anything for me?
Have a great day.
Thanks.
Thanks, Gar. Jenny.
Good morning. So I just want to ask you to use some caregiver funds out of 1206. Remember last year we were talking about for the liability insurance, so $11,000 to use those funds. I think they currently have around 80 some
Yeah,
thousand.
I was just looking at that. And this is for what again, Jim?
The liability insurance. For nurses.
I don't see money.
Yes.
Can I get a motion for Jenny to use $11,000 for the liability?
I'll make a motion.
6.
I'll second. In their budget.
I think it is in their budget.
No, that was the
No,
one
that's
that did not want us to
yes.
take out of our budget.
Yeah, that was the one that we.
We asked them not to put it in their budget or use money that was in our existing fund, and it's just, it needs to be dwindled down. Yeah. Right, is that correct? Right.
No, that's the one that we didn't. We didn't put in the budget.
Mhm. We knew it was gonna need to be paid, though. Yeah.
Do you remember that, the other one?
Yeah.
There's currently around 89,000 in here.
But they. 2,500 that's on this. For today, is that? Does that come off, if it's the total bill 11,000 on the line.
I estimated a little
Yeah.
higher to get to cover it.
But we have 2,500 under. One, so do we need 11,000?
Additional.
We need 11,000 for the liability, everything that's in the budget covers other fees. Because we have other, liability is just for the nurses.
Okay, so what is this left 2,500 for?
So what line is that?
Says liability insurance 60% at
So
1,500
that would
and
be our
liability
trailer,
insurance
that's more than likely.
40%.
our
The
trailer,
1,000. Right. Two different
insurance, liability insurance. But it's not the same thing.
So this liability would be on your nursing staff.
Correct.
This other liability is for the trailer.
Yes, separate.
Kim. We should go make ink pen, mine just ran out.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Are you waiting for a second or?
Yes.
Okay, I'll second that.
No, it don't
Okay,
matter.
you did already, first and second.
I
Okay,
don't.
I can't remember if it was second or not. Nope, you're good.
But wouldn't it have to be advertised? In additional? Because it's.
Didn't we?
I
Yeah.
think we advertised
We
it.
did
though.
that.
Yeah, I've already advertised
Okay.
it. Yeah, it just had to come to you guys.
We've already gone to the. We'll double check it, but I.
We can vote on it, but if
Pretty
it's,
sure it was already.
It was already advertised and already public hearing on. It. It's an additional.
Well, she went to the commissioners to get approval, then she advertised it, and then,
it's just not on our agenda.
It's just not on the agenda. Yeah.
we'll have to do a public hearing.
You need it paid for it with.
I think, we just got the invoice.
So we can officially vote on that in our meeting in 2 weeks.
So that's the end of it. It's 10 days. She would have to get it out this week.
Yeah.
Oh. I guess it'd be next, our meeting's next week, isn't it? Next Tuesday, it's not 10 days away.
It would have to be. But we could do it at our March 3rd meeting.
Correct.
There's confusion.
Yeah, there is. Yeah, there's confusion.
Let's do this then.
Yeah. We'll do it at the meeting. Okay, so we have to advertise for that, so
I'll send it today.
you'll send it today. At our joint meeting on the 3rd with the commissioners, we can approve, we can do our vote then and approve expenditures.
Okay.
The other thing is we are, as I've mentioned before, the Ag Safety Day, the life saving skills, the CPR training, the Stop the Bleed. I do have flyers if anyone wants it. I'll leave them here. But we also have the, heart and lungs, cancer screening still going on, so if anyone's interested. We've had a lot of, good come out of that, so we're, encouraging everyone to have it done. Any questions, Frank?
I don't know, does anybody else have any questions? Julie?
Okay, thank you.
Do they need to withdraw their motion? Because you have a first and a second on the table. I think they need to withdraw it officially.
I'll withdraw my motion.
It's me 2 seconds.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Anyone else back there?
Yeah.
Hello, Mr. Crowe.
Things here, first off is the holiday schedule. Proposed that to the commissioners last week. As far as recognizing the whole holiday schedule for emergency services as well as everybody else in the county. So they were for it. So I guess it would be up to you guys to fund it. As far as jail staff, deputies, EMS and dispatch. Getting the other 6 holidays that we haven't gotten recognized.
So that would essentially make all county employees the same holiday.
Same holidays good.
I think we need to see some figures on it. Of how that's gonna affect budget and.
Okay.
I think that would be beneficial for us. Because we're already
Visual.
tight. Yeah. We need to know how it's gonna affect it, to know where it's gonna come from.
I did get your email in regards to the benefit that you sent me on the 25th or the 28th of January. You probably don't remember.
That's been a little bit ago, but yeah,
I handed it over to Kim because she wanted to look at it,
okay,
so, but I still have it in my email. I just printed one out for her, so she's gonna take a look at that.
Okay.
And then we can discuss it amongst ourselves. And I'll send that email on to you. When this is on.
Okay.
the next thing is a storage barn slash training facility, I guess we can call it. Behind the jail, we have been lacking on storage for, well, ever since we built the jail. We have ATV, UTVs, enclosed trailer, a tractor, a lawnmower. None of that is supposed to be stored in the salad court.
Correct.
Fuel cans, stuff like that, chemicals. It cannot be stored in the salad court due to the state jail inspector. He dings us on it every year. So I had proposed this to the commissioners last week as well. The groups come out and met with me and the sheriff to see where it could potentially go. And we're also wanting to look at maybe building our own firing range back there behind the jail, where the excess dirt was moved from the jail site back in the southeast corner of our property. And I kind of figured maybe if they're doing something with county highway, all of that dirt could be moved over there as well. We can make our own visual
Barrier.
range, so to speak. Along with that storage barn, I'm thinking about. We talked about walling off like the south portion, probably 20-30 feet by 60 wide. Putting an awning on the backside of it with some picnic tables and such for reloading. That can be our station for the firearms range. If we put one back there, we can also use the building for stops training, defensive tactics, which we just learned that Fountain Central is getting new wrestling mats. So we're in talks with them about getting their old wrestling mats, whether we have to buy them or whatever, but so that would help us with the defensive tactics training that we need every year. So putting a classroom in that barn
Mhm.
and a bathroom. So that's.
Lost
I would say we talked about the storage barn a couple of years ago. and
We haven't
then
talked
never
about
got
that storage
bids or-
barn since.
Okay, because I
we
mean, I
built the
think,
Jail,
yeah,
and there was special purpose money set back,
to do that.
but. We had talked about a steel frame building. I think we need to nix that idea and just build a full barn style building.
Mhm.
It doesn't have to necessarily withstand a tornado or whatever like our other buildings do. So. I think that would be a better route and. Least expensive,
Makes sense.
so.
You have an estimate on cost for that?
I do not, we were gonna draw up some plans. And then reach out to a few individuals. And see what an estimate or a quote would be on those, so.
It'll have to be bid for the cost, won't it? I mean, it'll have to be an open
Yes.
bid. I mean, we need some estimates, but it'll have to be an open bid, I
Yes.
think.
I
Yeah,
think going
Yeah.
to 2 or 3 people and getting an estimate, so
Yeah.
you see what the numbers
Right.
look like, but
Right.
then it has to go through, obviously, go through the bid process.
okay,
But who knows, maybe one of the people that give you an estimate might be the winner.
okay.
Anything else?
I think that's it.
Yeah.
They are. In progress with this sewer chewer. So they were actually setting cones out in the parking lot this morning to cut the ditch in the parking lot. They're not gonna tear it out yet. But they were getting ready to cut it, so. We're making progress,
Okay, slow but steady.
yes.
Thank you. Have a good rest of your day. Aaron, is there anyone else out there? You want to move on? Additionals. From Cume Cap Development to Keller PC for computer maintenance of $7,200. From Lowell Public Safety. Deputy Sergeant Detective, $2,000. Is he still here? Is Andrew still here? Is this for?
So on that additional, that was for longevity.
Okay,
Since Bob has been with the department for, I think this is his 30th year. Anything after 25, he gets the 2,000 every year. We failed to put that in on him at the beginning of the year. So I had called Kim and we spoke about it, and you're gonna go through your meetings to get the $2,000 longevity put on him.
so that brings me down to the next one. Is that the same deal with County General to jail commander deputy $1,200?
So that would be,
That was packed.
that's.
He didn't, for some reason, he got left out of the 200.
Okay,
So
What was the 1,200 for?
for Josh Paxton, he got left off.
yeah, when he got his raise, it didn't,
It didn't.
Oh, okay.
yeah, it was just the 1,200.
Okay.
So that's the 1,200.
Yeah, that is.
That's probably because he's on the jail side.
Yeah.
Budget
Yes.
instead
The
of
way it
sheriff
got
side, we switched him around a couple of years ago, so, okay.
He just got inadvertently left off. And lots of stuff in the health department. Would you like for me to read through all this? I don't think it's necessary. A lot of things, and I will, if you guys let me hear it. For a total of $290,428.75. Any questions in regards to any of those? I think this is Asia five.
It's agent.
Yes,
The guy with state
Yes.
money, it's what I did. But
yes. And I think we spoke that it had to run through us in order to be spent. Is that correct? Is that how you all remember it?
Correct, on the
Yeah.
health department.
Okay.
But the sheriff one, this isn't right. This is what we went over at budget, and Bob was the only one that was allowed to get the 2%, because his was every year when we did the budget. So he got the raise when we did the budget. And he doesn't get the additional 2,000 longevity. That's what we did away with.
Yeah, it was one or the other.
Yeah, and Bob got it and no one else did automatically when we went through the budget, because he was the only one over the years.
I have to go back, look, I had wrote down, but I didn't bring my
I didn't bring mine.
3-ring binder. I got to wrote down.
Because if we do that, then we're double dipping.
Right.
You're saying we got it in the red.
Mhm.
Because he was the only one that got it. That was the big discussion, because the other ones didn't, because it was every other year. But his was every year. In lieu of the longevity.
Right, and we didn't get it for 2025. He only got the.
I thought he did. He was the one that got it. No one else did.
It didn't reflect on his pay, it did. That's
It
what we're
wasn't on
at,
the
so.
salary ordinance.
So everybody
That's not
got a
salary.
Right.
Because he's not supposed to get them both longevity
Right,
pay.
I
He
thought
just
we
gets
agreed
it in
that
his
he would
pay.
get a raise of $2,000 in lieu of the 2,000 longevity.
Right.
Does anybody
It's
else-
not just
can
a
we
flat
remember that?
2,000.
That we do remember.
That's the way I.
Not here for that.
So maybe we should table it and take a look at it. That'd be all right. We table it and take a look.
Need to make sure that's right, just so we're not double
Yeah,
dipping.
just-
I
We just wanna
understand.
make sure it's correct.
Bob was going to get longevity every year because the other county or the other county employees get their longevity still. And if we took that away, from him particularly. He would have been gaining it anyways on the old way of doing it.
Mhm.
So that's why we said that Bob would get it every year. He's the only one that was eligible because he has over 25 years, so.
I moved to table it and have Kim check into it for us.
Well, I've got it wrote down, but I can't remember. It's in my notes.
We can pick it back up at our March 3rd meeting.
I wouldn't mind having an executive session to speak about this longevity thing. Have a recall of the February meeting that we had on the longevity. Measures or whatever you want to call it.
The only problem is there's only so many reasons why we can have an executive session. Now, that's going to change if one of the bills gets passed. Where we have one extra little category that we can have an executive session, but currently there's only like 3 reasons why we can have an executive session. So let me check into that and see if that would fall underneath.
What, last February meeting?
But when we done the raises.
Yeah.
And the
That's
longevity
right.
thing.
That's right. I've got it.
I would like to clarify a few things on that, so we're all on the same page as
Yes,
far as that goes. Because
that'll give her a chance to check into it. We can discuss that at our March 3rd meeting. And have a joint meeting with the commissioners following their regular meeting. And go from there. Okay.
Yep.
Thank you. So let's table the deputy sergeant effective. So I'm not sure.
Can I ask a question, Calvin?
Sure.
On the additionals, don't. Still have to have the public hearing and you have to put the time that
Mhm.
we started, okay,
Yeah.
so I don't know if we could vote on any of those
Anything.
until.
We can discuss it, but we
I
just can't.
didn't see it on here. Probably.
And it has to be advertised.
Yeah.
So there again, we would have to do it. Either March 3rd or
Oh, well, I think
something else.
still think we'll still do the public hearing and all these.
We can just do it now.
Yeah.
They've already been advertised,
Yeah.
these
Yeah.
things. Yeah.
So-
So now you need to open the public hearing, I think. Yeah.
Okay, so. I guess where it is then. We're gonna open the hearing. At 9:25. Does anybody have any questions, comments, concerns?
The health department for 290,000, that's about, we have 50% coming to us, right?
That whole amount.
Full amount. Pardon me?
That whole amount is from the state, the 290,000, but we didn't vote on it when we had our budget because.
But it's broken down here on the page though, right?
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay, and who makes sure we get 40% from Warren County?
No,
no,
60% has to be spent on a program, 40% can be spent on salaries,
right,
No,
or not, okay?
60% for nursing, 40% is environmental. So we can't spend any more than 40% on environmental, in our department. Yeah, but we just spend 60% plus for nursing. So it's nursing or environmental is how it's broken down. For any program.
So we don't get any reimbursement then from Warren County?
We're not.
Not with Warren County.
We're no
It's
longer
nine,
fountain water.
but
and this is grant money, if I'm,
It's great. money.
it's that
All
HFI
grant
grant money that we got in additional to our funding. Yeah, this is what we opted in on the second year, not the first
there's
year,
no county tax.
yeah, yeah.
And back to what you said a few minutes ago, what you guys approved was the initial opt-in in that budget. Here forward, we don't have to come to you for every additional dollar that we use, or any additional, because it's already been approved.
Right,
So, on that part,
yeah, you just did it all.
yeah.
Yep.
all on.
Does anybody else have any questions? Does everybody understand what we're talking about? Okay, so this this is a grant money that we got from the state. We didn't opt in the first year, we opted in on the second year. She is just doing the additionals all at one time, so they're approved for her expenditures in the future. Okay, hearing no more comments or concerns, the public hearing closes that, yes.
For the next one, does that need to have a public hearing too?
Yes, and she,
But, yeah.
yeah, we gotta talk about that.
So we can do that separate?
Yeah.
Okay,
So
What's
hearing,
separate? Okay, yeah, because I have a question.
Okay.
so the second one, the Greenway project did not get advertised in time. We
Okay.
can still discuss it after the public hearing.
okay.
So hearing no further comments, questions or concerns, I'm gonna close the public hearing at 9:27. So we are voting on the Keller Creek C. We're gonna table the public safety, and then we are also going to vote on county general and the health department. May I get a motion?
Okay. I have a question, the color PC, is that for the contract? Or is that, that's for the
Yeah, it's
contract, so
additional
it's
700.
7,000 more than what it was last year. Okay.
Okay, hearing no further comment, can I get a motion to approve? Virginia Key.
Second.
Second by
Excuse me.
all of those in favor of approval?
And this was all the additionals except for the Keller and the public safety. Correct?
And
Keller's
then
included.
Public safety is tabled.
Got it.
Thank you. And we'll discuss
And the
that.
jail commander, right?
It was included.
That was approved.
That was approved, okay. Yeah, just because that was an error, right? Okay. Okay, so the Greenway project was not. What we did last time could not have happened because we had to have a public hearing on the additional appropriation. And if you remember, that was done during our joint meeting with the commissioners. It did not get advertised and the amount of time for us to vote on it today, so we will vote on this. Do we have time on our March 3rd meeting to get it in? Yeah. we can do it.
Yeah.
We could do it at our March 3rd meeting.
So
So that's all I have there. I know that Dudley had a comment or a question.
Yeah, I don't know, maybe Brad can answer this or we can answer it, but I've had some questions on, I know a comment was made that they had to have some county funds to meet the ready grant. Does that jeopardize that program if there isn't any county funds put in it?
Yes, it would.
Okay. Then my next question is it gonna be built up so that it doesn't get washed out?
I can't answer that.
Okay,
In my discussions with Dale White and the Community Foundation and also the Fountain County Soil and Water Conservation and the Greenway Project that Lori is on the steering committee with, that's definitely the case. It will be built up to above average flood stage. So, you know, it will still flood once in a great while, but you know, on average, it'll still be above what we normally get. So if that makes sense.
Yes.
okay, so then. In the case where it does get flooded out and there's damage done. Who's liable to?
Well, hopefully it's just debris and not, you know, just something we can sweep off like we do the rest of the trail.
But still, does the county have to pay for the part that's through the county property? If
Well, that's kind of like, that's something we need to discuss.
Once it's built, we assume responsibility.
even if it's in the county and not in the city limits. That's the way the other 5.3 miles are.
Okay,
We do all the maintenance on it, the city does. And we repaired. It's in the county now. This is actually in the county park,
right,
but we will still do the maintenance and do the repair on
okay. And how about liability? Does the city have liability insurance?
it. We have liability on the trail.
Will they cover that through the county park, or does the county have to have that?
I would say that ours will cover it. We cover everything else in the city and county.
Okay. Yeah, because I know part of the trail is not in city limits.
No,
Okay. Okay. That's-
Anyone else?
Hey, we're having a public hearing on this on March 3rd. We can have some additional discussion.
Yeah, that will allow us additional.
The county portion of that walking trail.
It's like 0.9.
Yeah. That's for the new part.
And it goes through how many county acres? Right, I guess I don't know the geography here. I'd love it if we could just give that trail to Covington.
If we could, why?
Just give it to them.
Whatever,
Yeah,
County park, give it to the city. Is that what you're saying?
Is that a match? Is that a match or something?
it is
mhm.
475.
You match half of that.
Yeah. Well, no, it's 475, it's 475 match. I think
We cut it down.
it was voted on for.
225.
We cut it down quite a bit.
But if you give the land, I mean, that counts as a match. So they have to help.
We just have a value, correct? Yeah. What's your thoughts on that, just general?
does that work for you? If they give you the land?
What, will we have to have that surveyed if we're gonna?
Well, it's already, there's gotta be illegal if it's a county park, when it was given to the county, there should be a record for it. There's gotta be.
Try to do that,
Right.
Brad.
So we go ahead and match the 225 that we're going to do, and then we just basically give it to Covington. Is that what you're
Well,
saying?
in my
Is that what
opinion,
it-
it should be one
They're
or the
saying,
other.
they're saying give the land first, and that would be part of our match, depending on the value of it, was a suggestion.
Say that again.
I see, I got you.
They're saying if we gave the county park donated it, if we had a value on it, that could be part of the match, of our match. I don't know. I'm not sure how that works. We have to have a value on it, obviously.
Where's the rest of the match coming from?
Community Foundation.
And ready one.
Foundation. But the county park was applied for through the, I think, Wabash Heartland. The grant writer put on there that it was in the city of Covington. And it wasn't. So.
I would think that would be an issue with granting funds if it wasn't filled out properly.
Well, it's been over 30 years now, so.
I'm usually not in favor of giving these away, but in this situation, I mean, there's so many questions about what we would be responsible for and the liability and all of that. And is this the only county park we have inside the city limits of Covington?
No, it's not inside the city limits.
Okay,
No, and I would rather keep it just like it is.
So the Circle Trail, Brad, how much of it is outside the city limits now? Roughly,
Most of it.
Yeah.
90%.
So even if Brad says liabilities take, insurance is taken care of, they'll patrol it.
If we patrol it anyway.
Well, I have a problem with falling underneath your liability insurance. Either we're gonna be listed as additional insured on your liability policy, or we're gonna have to take out our own for that section. Just,
So, first of all, we're dealing with a bike trail and I know. The odds of somebody getting sued over this are extremely low anyways, but I remember they always told us it doesn't matter what the fact pattern is. An accident happens, who gets sued? Everybody gets sued.
Mhm.
And it seems to me if they're the ones taking care of it, if it's their trail, it's going through there. I would love it from a legal perspective. You just say, well, we don't want anything to do with this, get rid of it now. That was just me kind of spitballing. I haven't looked very hard at it. That's just my gut reaction is, well, if they're gonna be doing all of it, let's just give it to them. If that doesn't work for everybody, we'll find another way to make it work.
At a minimum, I think we should be listed as a loss or an additional insured, you know, because it's all just
we're
hearsay. Right-
definitely covered.
It's all just hearsay right now, you know.
Yes.
Well, I guess my question is, the rest of the trails in the county, how is
Yeah.
that insured now?
Well, we don't have jurisdiction over the remaining because we don't have, our name is not on the deed, so to speak.
Right.
We only own the 0.9 whatever, let's just say a little less than a mile.
So the part that's in the county existing on the Circle Trail, I know Brad takes care of it, but
Those landowners,
Okay.
they
Oh,
deed
okay.
it to the foundation, did they deed it to who? I don't know.
Or is it an easement?
that's my
Is it
question.
just an
That's-
we don't know.
I'm
That-
guessing
that
it's an
matters, though.
easement.
Okay.
So I don't know who currently owns the remaining or the 5.3.
I would guess I would guess it's just easements and I would assume it's to the foundation, but I don't know that.
I think the city owns it.
The city does, did they deed it to you then, or
Pardon?
did the landowners deed it to the city then?
Deeded or give an easement to the city? I mean,
I
I know they had to do something. They either had to deed it or do an easement, but I don't know who that was to.
Right.
I remember when all that happened.
I'll have to ask Dale on that.
Because that becomes an issue for them because it was deeded to the foundation, who really owns that as the easement rights. And I understand your perspective too, just cleans it up.
Mhm.
What do you think, Jim?
We need additional clarification on everything that we've spoken about,
Yes.
who ownership.
So we can do that before we advertise.
Yeah.
Security.
We're gonna get out. So we-
I can figure that out real quick. If you need me to,
The ownership,
yeah,
How you gonna
Yeah,
do that? You'll look up Beacon?
He's
either
got-
there or just go
Yeah, look
check
in
the
the
recorder's
recorder's
office,
office
yeah,
and
there's
see.
either gonna, there may be nothing, no?
That brings up another thing, since I have two of the commissioners here. Beacon shows that the 500 feet south of the bridge on 11th Street is in the county. And I think the two commissioners that are here were willing to accept the fact that the county should pay for it. But one of them wasn't, because they said the state they said that the county's not responsible for that. But on Beacon, it's clearly in the county.
are you talking about the 16 or $19,000? Is that what you're talking about?
19,285.
And both property owners on both sides of that
Are
are
in the
paying
county.
county
Yeah.
property tax.
Mhm.
I mean, we talked about that and
Yes.
the council was in favor of paying for that section to be paid, but
Mhm.
previous commissioners voted no, so.
Yeah.
But Beacon's
Just-
not authoritative.
I was gonna say, be careful relying
Right.
on Beacon. Anytime I've dealt with real estate, Beacon is not accurate. We
I
gotta,
think it's accurate in this case.
it might be, but I don't think we should be using
Maybe
Beacon as our reason. It's-
Property lines aren't always exactly right on Beacon. They may be
There's-
over a little bit.
Well, I know when Jason
Ownership
Lewis
is
was
always
here
right
at the
there.
meeting that you presented the invoice. he got on NDOT and I don't know what particular thing he used, but I know it's on NDOT. He showed me that they literally stop it right there where it stops.
And I talked to Jason also and asked him to go to the state and say, you know, that should be under the state's inventory. And we should be getting reimbursed for the mileage
Yeah.
from the state on road
We should.
use. And we should be, you
We're
know.
not getting paid for the mileage.
And he was to check into it, but yeah, didn't hear today. but-
Right.
He's on Zoom.
Okay. And he addressed, he asked him if he's checked with the state on putting that out.
Dudley, I haven't received an answer.
Jason, can you hear us?
Yes, I have, and I have not received an answer.
Jason, can you hear us? Maybe.
Yes,
It says he's trying to.
Right? Yeah, Brad's fixing it.
So back to the trail, we need
More information or clarification.
some answers again, and it needs to be
And
advertised.
your thoughts on if we were to
Oh,
Give that to the
give
city.
it to the city.
I don't remember, there were. What would the downside of that be? I don't remember. We had a discussion about this and there was some concern on. Was it, there was a downside on us donating it to the city. I don't know if it was just because that's not what the Myers family wanted or what. I don't recall what was said. Not saying I have a problem with it. It just, there was something, I can't remember.
Jason said he reached out, but that he hasn't heard back yet.
Okay,
Okay.
thanks, Jason.
Yeah, that was Mars family.
I'm looking on Beacon. Out there on Pearl Street where the trail is. Am I correct, I'm thinking that. And nowhere in their records does it say that they gave an easement, anything. On here. Now, what was recorded at the recorder's office may be totally different. So I think we need to have. We need to ask.
I know we have an easement on the railroad right away,
Right,
beyond 50 feet from the center, or we have an easement 50 feet from the center each way.
Isn't that how Denise, didn't that how the county park got started, as Myers gave them like a 99-year whatever to the county? Yeah,
I only
that's
know
how
what
it
I've heard
started.
here. I didn't know why it was a county park, but
Yeah. That's
I
how.
was told that it was Myers that donated it to the county, but.
so we need to get that clarified.
I don't think you guys can give it away anyway, can you?
It's
No, the commissioners would have to.
That's what I thought.
I don't even know that we've had to have mutual agreement.
Not when it's county property, the commissioners can give it to a government without the council.
Right.
Find that.
Meantime.
Yeah, it was sent last week.
So we'll go ahead and advertise it just in case. We decide to go ahead and vote. And that'll give us an opportunity to find out more information on. The property itself and. Maybe with some numbers on it. Anybody else have any questions on the Greenway project? Okay, we'll move on to encumbrances. From the auditor, the office supplies of $3,289.92. Does anybody have any questions on that? Motion made by Devlin,
Second.
second by Jim. All of those in favor? So. Mr. Brandon.
Yes. Good morning. Thank you for adding this to your agenda. I sent out an email, a week ago to the leadership regarding, our reorganization. And, all I'm doing this morning is just following up and see if you had any additional comments, from our previous meeting or, the email I sent. So just giving you an opportunity to, express your opinion.
Okay, I have a comment I'd like to make. I don't know how the rest of the council feels, but this is how I feel about the Attica project. I do not want to see Attica lose any funding for their project. I want to see their project completed. I want that on the record because I think there's a misconception that the council members, some of the members do not want Attica to continue on. We want Attica to continue on. I'm hoping I speak on behalf of everyone else. If I'm not,
You're speaking for me at least. I agree with you absolutely.
that's my only comment. Anyone else?
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree 100%. That's not at all what our concern is.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. We'll move on to public comment. Does anybody have any public comments that they'd like to share? Or concerns or questions?
Yeah, I live right across from Rockville. Cover Bridge Road.
Yes.
I got a buddy that lives down that road. He'd like to see, as you come, actually going west out of Rockville, and go down the first steep hill, very narrow road. And about a 20-foot drop on each side. He'd like to see if we could get some kind of railing put up on each side. Also, when there's ice in the road, it's very, very hazardous.
Yes, it is. I will agree.
That's a bad area.
It is a bad area. Aaron, would you like to speak to Jason about that? Thank you. Thank you. Carol?
On this liability insurance, looked to me like there should be a blanket coverage for all the liability.
Oh, you're talking about that we're back to the trail?
No, or.
The nurse and the health department.
And also, how much land had we given Liga?
Liga?
Land?
Or that, we signed over a bunch of property to Attica.
No, I don't think we gave any land to Wega. Attica donated.
Attica
correct?
gave a building.
They
But
purchased
did
it.
we give it to Attica then, and Attica turned around and gave it to Liga?
We didn't own the land.
We didn't own that.
But for taxes though, they defaulted on taxes, and we gave a bunch of.
They wrote that off.
property.
You're talking about the buildings downtown.
I don't know where it was.
It was the buildings they took down.
They took down.
Yes, I believe that was the previous commissioners agreed to do that.
I think it's actually housing. There have been a few houses that have defaulted. There was one in the park and so forth. Anything that was given to the city of Attica, not to us at all. Has nothing to do with it.
And I think it has something to do with the buildings they tore down.
Yeah.
The buildings that were torn down that are part of the market were purchased by the city of Attica. So I know for sure those were not given.
Yeah. They have to purchase them before they can take them down. And they paid to have them taken down too. So. Anyone else? Somebody else have anything you'd like to discuss?
Yeah, on the solar work that's going on west of town. I was in a Tri-County fire meeting, which is several departments all over the county and Warren and Vermillion County, and they had the people from Crossroads there to talk about emergency services. And what they should expect and from Crossroads and Desiree and you know, the hazards that were gonna be involved and setbacks, that sort of thing. But found it interesting that there's some other names that were in Crossroads Farm that I found out that I didn't know. Desiree, of course, is the owner right now. A company by name of Solve, SOLVE, is the operator. Didn't know that. And another company by the name of Primoris, PRIMORIS, is the builder. So a lot of moving parts there, a lot of different names. And I just wanted to let the council know that I found out that information that I didn't know who we were dealing with. I thought we were just dealing with Desiree and Crossroads, but obviously it's other people.
So that brings us back around. If you remember right, Amber or someone from that Covington group brought up the name Primoris. Only they thought at that time it was another solar company trying to encroach into the county again. Now we know they're actually the builders, is that correct?
Yeah, they said if you see a truck with gold lettering with Primoris on it, that's pretty much who's building the project. They were close to 25% done. So they'll probably be punching in holes pretty quick. But they did a good job as far as I'm concerned, speaking about the, you know, the emergency part of it, that and a lot of questions were asked about noise and reflection and things like that. Mostly everything as far as the transmitters and all the boxes will be in the middle of the footprint or the area where the solar panels are, so they'll be out in the middle, not close to the fence or anybody's buildings. And
Did they say anything about battery storage? Would they?
no, there's no they said there's no batteries on the system. That's what they said.
I think they would say if they were, because it'd be an emergency services, but then you never know. The only thing I have, council members, I gave you lots of reading. I went to the legislative conference past week. Found out that there's over 100 bills running through the Senate and the House right now. The one that is probably one of the most important bill that's coming through the Senate is SB 1, which is your property tax reform. The way they want to do it, by 2028, we could lose $2.5 to $2.8 million worth of revenue coming into the county, which poses a threat to services that the county offers to its citizens, as well as paying for things that we do here in this county. I'm hoping that they make some sort of rewrite of that bill, but they indicated that with it being the first bill, that they're not going to see it fail. They're going to do as much as they can to get that passed. So we're going to have to get real creative in the next coming year or two or three. You will get no sympathy from the governor or the lieutenant governor, because the lieutenant governor, you know, if it's on Facebook, it's gospel, stated that we need to quit crying about the loss of revenue, and that we need to quit spending frivolously, and we need to tighten our belts. So keep that in mind. If you have any letters or emails you'd like to send to your state reps, I would encourage that. So that is this packet. This lists all of the bills, what is being proposed by each bill. It even addresses this over 65 credit and debt veterans deductions. Your business personal property is going to change if you have a business. There's even a proposal of going to a 7% tax on services. So If you'd like to have Ethan drop a will for you, he's gonna charge you 7% tax on top of his bill. If that passes, so take a look at those. It's also going to be detrimental to our school systems. Also, this guy right here has on the front all of the upcoming conferences, webinars that you can go to. One that I suggest is on, I believe it's July 21st. That is a state board of account called meeting. They don't require it, but they really highly encourage you to go to that. Jeff and I and Tom went last year. I thought it was informative. Also, one other thing is district meetings, if you're interested in going to those. And that's about it. Oh, your book. They were so gracious to give me those for the 4 counties to hand out because I was generous and said I would do that. Didn't realize they were gonna be so heavy when I carried that box to my car. I gotta work out that day. So that's all I got.
A couple of things on we got, Rod sent me an email about daycare in Attica and, the scheme. You want to touch on it?
Yeah, Steam Academy, which is Cooper City Church, based in Lafayette, and it's also now in Attica. And they are, they take the old Assembly of God Church there on 28 as you head out of town. They're going to build out, I think it's 120, don't put the limit on that. 110 seats. So that's a huge ad. And they did get some grant funding from Ready One for that.
Right.
But the rest was private. So.
Other thing, I just wanted everybody to know, we did give Hillsborough $2,500 for their sidewalk to do research, draw drawings and et cetera for getting that study done for NDOT when they come in 26, so maybe they can get those steps. So they did provide that money for Hillsborough, so just wanted you to know.
And we could provide that.
Yeah, as well, yeah, I said that.
Yeah. Okay. Jim, do you have any update on the town of Hillsborough? They have a balance on ARPA or how close are they?
They're not gonna use all
They're not
that.
gonna, I thought they turned it in. Did they turn it in?
Yeah, they didn't move it all.
But they did, okay,
Yeah,
so it's on our books yet.
it's on our books
Yes.
for the highway.
Yeah.
Also, have we, Jason, sorry, not Jason. How about Aaron?
Long ankles, right?
I can run through all 4. I am a mom, so I could probably do that. We're gonna discuss that at our March 3rd meeting, is that correct?
Yes.
The highway building.
Some people are gonna come in and just do a presentation on different delivery methods for this building down here, how we want to do it, so. They were willing to do it, obviously they're interested in putting in a bid as well, but. We all understand the different methods. Whether it's DOT or one of the other two, we all understand exactly what we're talking about. So. I'm proud.
Did everybody get a chance to look at their ARPA? Any questions? Since we've touched on ARPA, what's happening? Hey, Dudley.
Dudley, was called back in, it's great.
Yes.
I mentioned you'd be a counselor for us, well, you're gonna have that job now.
He said that.
Breaking you back, yeah,
Welcome back.
30-day break.
Took a little 30 days sabbatical.
Yeah, I do have, the 2 new may not know, but I serve as the Fountain County representatives at the board of directors of Valley Oaks Mental Health Center. I have an annual report passed around, tells you how many people have been serviced up at the Attica location. As you know, the state has they divided the state in, there's either 9 or 10 mental health districts and so many counties in each one. And the state requires the county to partially fund it. I believe this year somewhere around $116,000 that the county is required by the state to provide to Valley Oaks. Something that is going to be new. Valley Oaks is just, right now it's a mental health center. They are working on, we just had federal auditors in about 2 weeks ago. We're looking into going into medical care. And right now, there are, I believe, 9 counties in this district. Only 2 locations will have medical service to start with, and Attica is. So, while Tippecanoe County is the other, of course, it's the largest county in this district, but I think that would be a great opportunity that we get approved by the federal government through Medicare to open up a medical center in Attica. They'll have a doctor or a nurse practitioner there at all times.
Is that just for their clients?
No, anyone will be, if it becomes a medical center, anyone can get into use that facility. So I'll know more. It's probably going to be June before they make final decision whether to get approved. That's annual reports. Because of how many people are serving. I know they have staff in schools, help special needs students, and accompanying them to a lot of different complaints and things.
So you said there's confusion on the next meeting. Do we have one next Tuesday night? That's what I thought.
I am, no.
Okay.
I
thought we had one
think
next-
One time we were talking.
Next week,
Doing it,
the joint meeting.
and then we decided. Not to, and we're gonna do one on March 3rd, so we can go through the
Okay.
delivering different financial delivery systems for this.
So we will not be meeting on February
18th.
Okay.
No meeting on the 18th. Our next meeting will be March 3rd, following the commissioners meeting, so I'm guessing if you're here about 9:45. I don't know, I've seen them do a 10-minute meeting too, so. March 3rd. Which is there. Aaron, do you have anything? Anyone else? Anybody else?
I have a question. He was mentioning Valley Oaks. They have a medical center.
Well, they have applied, and the federal government and federal board approves it, then no.
How is that going to affect that medical center that just came in the last year? It's right there on Main Street.
Yeah.
Fast paced.
No, it will be, I mean, it's Fountain and Warren use the Attica facility. Most counties in the 9 county district have their own facility that Fountain and Warren share that, so. Warren County also.
I don't see very many people using fast pace when I drive by there. We buy at different times during the day.
Not interested, yeah.
Have you?
Yeah.
It's supposed to be logged in, but they make you make an appointment. It's, yeah, it's really a little different. I just had a couple things.
Yes.
Knowledge to share, the community, USDA has a community, facility direct loan and grant program, and it has been, you been, okay, so that might help you, and if you do that, I have some things that you could maybe pull into that. for the fire department in Petersburg. And then, I wanted to say for the, Indiana's General Assembly, you can go on and you can find the numbers to the committee members that are on there and write them as well, reach out to them. There's secretaries for their secretaries, so we'll just keep going down the line to reach them.
I think that's IGA dot. For the Indiana General Assembly. I encourage you, if you have an opportunity to ever go to the conference, you can do it, it's
I wanted to go.
it's interesting. Yeah, I would. So, okay, well, if
And as your representative of the planning commission, I've got the planning commission meeting dates here, if you want to call it, then pass out
that
sometime.
would be great, thank
Pass
you.
out.
That was another thing that Aaron and I had spoken about, was possibly trying to find a grant or two for the building, to help offset. And USDA was actually what I mentioned to Ken, because we used that for our vehicles, a couple years ago. And they paid like 30% of the total cost of our vehicles, so, yeah, I will.
Craig McGowan is the director that's in charge of it, and I talked to him, and right now, it had out at 50,000,
Okay.
but it would help.
Okay.
Did you write that, Andrew? Did you write that?
Yeah, I wrote that last
For the
week,
cars.
and actually, Greg, is it?
Craig.
Craig, yeah, that's who I spoke to about the whole thing, we went back several weeks, actually. Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah.
It's special written fees for that.
Yeah, that's what I was.
I wondered about that.
Yeah,
Yes.
because it's for the, and
It's
it's
for the jail.
jail.
You know, I'll have to notice that too.
There was something I saw maybe on the commissioners. And I didn't see it on ours. It's some pretty large project at the jail.
Oh, is that where they replace the windows?
Yeah, and that should be
Yes,
special and.
yes, when I went out there to take a tour of the jail, I noticed that there were 4 windows or 5 windows that were broke, which some of them have been broken since it was built. And so I said, we need to get those replaced, and we have funds to take care of that. And they did, they got them fixed, and we're good to go, so.
Special.
Mhm.
I did say something to the commissioners last week about the generators, they're out of warranty. So we had gotten a couple quotes from Houston, out of Lafayette, and Eva Park, which Eva Park is the ones that installed those initially. However, they're quite a bit more expensive. And the jail commander was happy with, he's used Houston for a couple things, I guess, and he's perfectly happy with them. They were a lower quote. I gave those quotes to the commissioners, so if you guys want to.
Is this for new generators, or is it for?
Just the maintenance plan,
Maintenance.
annual maintenance plan.
Maintenance.
We come in every Monday morning and they're locked down
Yeah,
every Monday, so we have. to-
and he was happy with Houston's work before,
Yes,
if I remember.
and they're kind of like,
Yeah.
all they're that big, so.
They're out of warranty, you definitely need an annual maintenance contract on those, definitely.
Yes.
And that's something they could probably take out, especially too, that they not, since it's for the jail.
It's
Generators.
that might be operating.
Yeah.
Or operating,
Operates.
Yeah.
If they were replacing a generator. It's a contract.
But she knows that they come and look at it, who knows,
Yeah.
who knows what you're gonna get into.
Yeah, they came out and looked at it before they gave us the quote, so.
Okay.
They're familiar with what they're gonna be working on, I guess, so.
Anyone have anything else? Can I get a motion to close the
Motion.
Second.
all in favor? Thank you, everyone.